Good morning, everyone. How are you guys? So let's see if you can hear me, first of all. Hello. How's this going? Can you hear? Morning. Yay. Some of you. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. All right. So welcome to Tea with Jenesee for the next half hour or so. And you know, we have to have some tea if we're having tea with Jenesee. So here's my tea today, which is Lady Grey tea. Little kick to wake you up in the morning. Hello, Darren Calic, to the puppies and to you. Okay, so, you know, I'm going to ask you, what are you drinking? What is your morning caffeine? What is your morning drink of choice? Or perhaps afternoon, some of you, and some of you really early. So what are you drinking? No tea today, coffee. Okay. What else? What are we having? Happy Wednesday morning. It's beautiful outside. A little cold, but it's getting there. 60 degrees. Heading there today, slowly. Beautiful downtown Fairfax. Coffee, water. Lots of coffee today. Are people having trouble getting started? Mango and passion fruit tea. That sounds delicious. Coke Zero. You perhaps thought you were going to have mornings with Max, huh? Coke Zero. Bitchicker Gaming. Monster energy drinks. There you go. That's right. Max brand of choice. Covered coffee, dark and creepy. Interesting. Okay, so let's get started. Yesterday, I hope that you were able to join us for Mornings with Max. So we had the cameras on until about lunchtime. Afterwards, we had a contest. Hopefully you enjoyed finding the ballistae in plural, around the office and winning that contest. Later on in the afternoon, we had a very special to be announced portion of the day. And if you happen to miss that, I'm going to go over it again. So this is, if you want to join the Becoming Story Challenge, which is going to be on Thursday for MJ. You're going to come up with ideas that are within the kind of genre of the realms, you know, Gaelic, Celtic, English, Viking kind of stories that we have not had before. So I'm going to read you the rules of the contest, and you can find that in the forum here. Where are you, chat? You can find it here if you want to read along. And so you have 2 days until the evening of Thursday, which is the 31st, 2 days from now, to pick a story from Old Norse, Arthurian, or Gaelic mythology for Mark to write about. And the important thing here is do not tell us what you're coming up with. So don't post it in the thread. Don't let me know in chat right now. Don't tell us, because we don't want you to give us an advantage or some kind of edge to know. So Thursday evening, you'll be able to email or reveal your ideas on the stream. And you'll vote on the myth for the story that's going to be based on. So then Mark will have 2 hours to research and write a becoming story based on this myth from scratch. So he'll find out that story and have to write it while on stream. So we don't want to give him a hint ahead of time. So don't post in the forum to let us know. And we don't want him to have that chance. And if he does not succeed to create a cool becoming story based on the story that you guys picked, there's going to have something that happens to him that he's going to have to do. So we'll see what his failure entails if he does do that. But I think he's going to be successful. So here are the rules. It can't be a continuation of or a sequel to a story we already have. In other words, don't take Hamadryad's becoming story and then just write a continuing chapter on that. Make sure you find an original myth idea. And it should be a story that has some kind of meatiness to it, he says, preferably with a title or some way to find it in a mythological cycle. In other words, something that he can actually research in those 2 hours. Not something really, really obscure that you might not be able to find. No goblins. That's the third rule. No goblins. So you can discuss it amongst yourself in other locations if you want to, but don't tell us what it is ahead of time. So are you excited about that? What do you think? You think I'll have to eat a pie? I don't know. I think that you might get to choose what happens. I think you should make him do a dancing, special dancing thing for you, because we know that he loves dancing. Gabbard, as it gets to Thursday, we'll give you the details of how we want you to submit that. We'll probably have a poll of some sort, etc. So just wait for Thursday. If you see it on the schedule, there is a MJ Becoming Challenge, which is at 12:30 to 1 o'clock BST. There's some extra time zones also on the sheet if you want to know. It's 7:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 UTC, and 4:30 Eastern Time. Hopefully that's enough time zones for you. There's several there. So come and tune in during that time, and we'll give you details of etc. of that. So yesterday, that was what we had. And then we finished the day with Storytime with Max, where he read to you about the Hajj riots. So hopefully you enjoyed that. These will all be on YouTube. Here is our YouTube right now, maybe. Right now, they're not on YouTube because Twitch is having trouble with the export feature, and they have disabled it. So anything from yesterday's stream has not made it to YouTube. They will once Twitch gets their act together. Okay, so today, what we have for you is, again, Team Jenesee 3. Cameras are on, and then later on today, we have character modeling with John, which will be at 3:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 UTC, and 12:30 Pacific Time. So hopefully you stay tuned with that. See John do some 3D modeling for you. All right, that's Thursday. Thank you, Tyler. I was noticing that. So that'll be on Thursday. Today we have Up Periscope, which I'm going to do a special Up Periscope today for you. It's at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock UTC, and 1 o'clock for Pacific Time. Up Periscope is when I have an app that I take around the office with my phone. It's Android or iOS if you want to go to the app directly, or you can watch it because I usually stream it on Twitch. I'm able to select it. Now if you're on Twitch watching, I won't be able to hear what you're saying, obviously, because I'm walking around the office. So if you want to leave messages for me and let me know things directly on the app, you can do that. But you can watch on Twitch too. And I think we'll have a very special ABC version of Up Periscope today. So we'll see how that goes. And then later on, immediately after that, we bring out your devs, which will be at 4:30 Eastern Time, 8:30 UTC, and 1:30 Pacific Time. And we will interview 2 of our developers, and really short, 15-minute thing each. And you can ask them questions. So if you haven't gotten a chance to meet everyone, you'll have a chance then. Okay. And then to close out the day today, we have Enter the Depths. The Ben cometh. And Ben, if you've been watching Enter the Depths, it's a board game that Max has been working on. I believe that Ben has been turned to the dark side. So now he's going to see if he can kill the party. So we'll watch Ben turn to the dark side and attack everyone, which will be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 12 o'clock UTC, and 5 o'clock Pacific Time. So watch Ben as he turns. He turns evil, tries to get you. You guys are still talking about what you want MJ to do if he fails this contest. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to move on, and you can continue to tell me what you're thinking about that contest and what you'd like to see for Up Periscope. But I want to highlight one of our community members today, who's Foggy. And he's been working really hard and just involved in so many areas in the community. One of them is he's worked on a community calendar. So at some point eventually we'll have on our website a calendar so you can follow along with what we're doing for events. But in the meantime, he's gotten a community calendar together, and you can see everything that's going on. He updates it pretty constantly. He also made a really cool compilation thread of all the news coverage that we've had lately. I did share them out on the social sites, etc. But this is one place where you can find them all kind of there if you want to just go through. I don't know if you saw, there's been a couple things. We had 2 MagFest videos come out yesterday of Andrew and MJ being interviewed at MagFest. And then after that, we had the first part of the Massively OP question Q&A with MJ come out on massivelyop.com. So they will have a second part come out eventually, and you can listen to that too. Speaking of questions for MJ, I really need some more for Piercing the Veil, which happens on Friday, and that's where you ask questions, design questions, anything you want to ask Mark Jacobs, and he will answer them, and I will read them for you. So if you have not had a chance to directly ask your question, or you want to know something about the game, this is where you want to put it. Gabbard Bull is very well. You'll probably see him today on cam when we do the office cams. Bull kind of walks around a lot. Also, here is tea with Jenesee, because, in the mornings here, I'd like to have things to show you and things to talk to you about. And there you go. Those are some questions you can ask me so we can have this half hour together without me just going like this. That would be better. Sangla, thank you. I'm glad you're liking the interviews. Okay, we have something very special from Foggy today, who has been kind of unofficially heading up the Wiki. So I don't know if you know, we have a Wiki. Here it is. And this is a really good place if you're new, or if you just want to look up something, and it's got a really good search feature. So sometimes going to the website, going to the forums, going to the social sites gets a little confusing for people to find something. If they just want an answer to one thing, or they want to learn more about one subject, the Wiki is a really good place to do it. And it's community run. So it's an official Wiki, but it's community run and updated by you guys as information comes out. And Foggy's been really wonderful about making templates, about helping to get the newsletter in, etc. And we've had a number of new people come in the last week, and he's been really good about getting them up to speed. So with that, there is going to be a Wiki workshop meeting at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday that Foggy is going to run. So if you want to attend, please message him in the forum, or you can message me, or you can even go to this thread, which is just about Wiki Guardians, and if you'd like to become one, here you go. So other than that, we'll give you details on how to, if you want to be a part of it, to show up, and how we're going to get together, etc. Probably through Discord, but we'll see. So 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Saturday to join Foggy. Also, the Wiki is now working to be French. We have a French section of the Wiki that our French translators are now working together with our Wiki Guardians to make sure that that is translated into French. So, yay for cross-team working. Okay. And Foggy, I asked him if he could just do a little, kind of a short intro to the Wiki for those who might be interested, just to kind of show you how we work. And I thought he could do it rather than me because he's been working on it a lot, and he really deserves that. So let's look and see what Foggy has to say about the Wiki. Hopefully OBS will help me with this. All right.
Greetings. My name is Foggy. I'm here to go over the Camelot Unchained Wiki. I'll give you a brief overview of the site, go over our process, and if you want, show you how you can get involved. Let me go ahead and preface saying that this is the official wiki of the game. You can find a link to it on the official website as well. It was started by City State Entertainment. They reached out to Curse, had it added as part of the Gamepedia wiki farm, using the media wiki format. I can't stress enough just how nice it is to work this closely with a game studio. We have the mod squad, forum involvement, live streams, Q&As, even conversations done in comment sections of various websites. I think CSE has shown time and time again that they're top tier when it comes to community involvement. I think that a huge part of their success lies in the fact that they're a big part of the very community that they're trying to promote. This wiki is just part of that. Let's go ahead and start with a tour here of the front site. This was designed by James Koo here on the front, which is why it looks so completely awesome. Here's a welcome section here done by MJ and Max. We got the reveal section here, which goes over the foundational principles, things like the BSC days, if you guys remember that. We have the news feed. We have some scrolling screenshots there of backer creations, concept art, races and classes. This is our recent changes section. This shows you all the work's been done recently. As you can see, we've been a little busy. Then the supplemental information. You have the setting, becoming characters, dragons, so on. Gameplay, everything from building, progression, to stats. And then the community. And top of the community, of course, is ducks. We have 2 design goals. First being concise summary. You want to be able to provide accurate, uh, indexable, referenceable, and or more easily digestible information. Or as MJ would say, the meat and potatoes. So we want to definitely provide a good summary of the release information. And then the second aspect was going to be centralization. What you figured would be inherent for Wiki, but you need to add some fluidity and navigation, ease of access for people to find that information, or it's moot. Let's go ahead and start off with here. This kind of shows you a little bit there about how summary can work out well. This here is an index of the newsletter. Got all of them here with a brief summary of all the sections of the newsletter. This allows readers to be able to actually find the parts they want or look up parts that may interest them. Also very helpful if you're trying to find something very specific. Then all you have to do is click on the link, and you can always read the material as it was originally intended. Another good example would be the foundational principles page. Here, we've just kind of given a brief summary with a couple bullet points of the gist of the foundational principles. And then you can always go to the source and read the entire thing. Here's an example of one of our class pages here. As you can see, it's not too much different than the website, the main website. But the information will change. And we'll be able to reflect things like trivia and revision history that the main website may not be able to. Here's some of the navigation. Of course, it would allow you to easily jump to a different class that may interest you without having to go back to the main page. Of course, we can't exactly get everything done in a timely manner. As you can see, we haven't got around to the Spirit Mage archetype yet. Though, one of the things we do use to help keep ourselves on task is Trello. Trello is kind of a card-based GUI that we use as a workflow. The cards themselves are fairly neat. You can do everything from checklists. You can add labels. You got activity, and of course you can do comments and descriptions. The way our process typically goes is you can attach yourself as a member of a card. This shows you that you're attached to the card. When you're attached to the card, you will get notifications if somebody were to write a comment or somebody would move the card. If you have a link up here like I do, you would get a little circle, just kind of like Discord over here would. You can also review them here, and if somebody actually puts an @ in front of your name in the comment, you'll get an email too. The way the process goes is you got the to-do section here. Some of these faded cards here do show that these are a bit aged. They've been sitting there for a while. You can come in, find a card you want. When you do, you can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to claim that card. That's the card I'm going to do. Once you actually start to work on the card, you would move it to in progress. Of course, as you're going along, you're going to want to make sure to put in some comments to kind of, either ask for some insight or just let people know how you're coming along. Once you're done, you move it to needs review. Here, either a Wiki Guardian or CSE will review it, either ask you to make some changes, or once it's finalized, move it here and it's said and done with. You can also put a card here if you specifically want to tag some CSE attention. One example would be sometimes I find that I manage to update the newsletters before they make it on the website, so I would just kind of give them a heads up. Speaking of newsletters, here's a card here. And as you can see, Jenesee is reviewing the card. And she asked me to kind of change something up. I could easily just do the work, come back to the card and say, all right, what do you think of that now? I think communication is probably the biggest part. As you can see, we do a fair bit of communication sometimes on the cards themselves here, but we have other means as well. We do have our own section on the Discord where we communicate and collaborate. We have our own subforum on the forums, as well as a message thread just for general updates and notifications. I think for the most part, I think one of the joys of working on the wikis, working maybe a little more in a team environment. You don't necessarily have to be good at everything. Uh, Let me go ahead and give you one example. Here is the Q&A tracker. For those who remember the Chasing Mark Jacobs document, I consider this to be similar, but much bigger. And one of the things did was we had Velik here actually watch this video and actually transcribe all the information. He actually submitted this to the forums, where it actually went to, would go to the translation teams for the, French and German and Italians to be able to go ahead and translate those for their versions of the actual videos. But they would also go to us so we can actually put them in the Q&A tracker I showed you earlier. Here, Iraq Chrome went ahead and took that information, used a boilerplate I made, and put that information into a wiki format, and then put it to me. Now I've already went ahead and edited this the way I wanted to, and now all I have to do is go and add it to the wiki. There we go. Of course, you want to notate everything you do. Save. And of course, I know what I'm looking for. So there's the entry right there. And this is kind of, showcases a little bit how, how a team environment can actually yield in tangible results. Velik just transcribed it, had somebody kind of convert it all, and I just edited it and threw it in. And we do know that the wiki in its entirety is probably a little woefully out of date. It's currently a great resource for somebody coming into the game, but maybe a little behind the times for somebody who's been kind of following it up. But we've had a lot more people come in, and as you can see here, once again, that we're hitting stuff right out of the gate and getting things updated. Also, there's been some movement about doing a French translation of the wiki as well, so they'll be starting here soon. Matter of fact, if you're interested in doing that, you want to reach out to, I believe, Nabotep there in the French forums. If you're looking to help out, you don't necessarily have to be very good at it. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't really have to do everything. Maybe there's one particular part you think it's good. It's like, you know what? I can really take information, chew it up, make it really presentable, but I don't really not very good about throwing it in. Well, that's easy. You put it on the, you grab the card, you put the information up there and say, hey, can somebody upload that? Somebody will upload it. Great. And then somebody else may edit it for grammar, and then we'll put it to CSE for review. And there we go. And you don't even have to really know a lot of HTML or CSS to be involved in the wiki. When I started with this, I knew nothing at all. I just kind of self-taught myself, looked a lot of things up. There are online resources that are very good about this stuff. W3 Schools is a good example of learning some HTML and learning the codes. Another good place to look up information is the actual help wiki that Gamepedia does provide. And of course, my favorite, reverse engineering, what other people have done. I learned a lot, but just by seeing what James did here with the front site and just fitting it in where I wanted it to. So this is kind of a good opportunity too to kind of learn something new if you're not familiar with it, or to be able to highlight your talents if you're fairly good at this kind of thing. And then of course the most important part is being part of a team. I've gotten to work fairly closely with some people. It's kind of nice to kind of collaborate and talk. It's like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. It's like, oh no, I got something much better. Why don't we consider doing it this way? You're like, oh, that is good. All right, let's roll with that. So there's it's a good way to kind of collaborate, get to know some of your peers. I've gotten to know several new people already. And ultimately you can add something to the community. You can come in here, you can add something, that's potentially going to be referenced by thousands of players later on in the game. If you want to looking to get involved, that's easy enough. You can just reach out to Jenesee, or even myself. I'm completely willing, and I actually prefer to sit down and talk with anybody potentially interested. That way I can just get to know you better, kind of get you dialed in, get all the logins going for you. Because I think that this has the potential to be something really great. Not only just the result, but just the process of making it. So, thanks for your time.
Okay, so hopefully you found that video informative and got to know Foggy a little, which is really cool. And I do thank him for making that. I know he was up kind of late messing with OBS trying to do so. So if you'd like to join and become a Wiki Guardian, there's a link in there, or again, you can message me or Foggy on the forums and we'll get you set up. So this is Tea with Jenesee. We're going to go to the office cams now, and you can watch us work as we do our crunch towards Beta 1.
Did you? I know I did some part of looking up queuing or resending or something like that, but it's been like 2 years.
Especially as it relates to ability queuing, and I'm just trying to figure out who's the other review.
Just because of his expertise.
I'd like to be on it merely just to see, to get a little more.
So everybody.
Good. Engineering. Brian Markton.
Yay!
You got the review.
Ship it.
Oh,
Hey.
oh,
You actually
Yes,
there.
yes, this is the
Hello.
this is the held abilities. So like you start an ability and it finishes the first time, and then it holds until you click the mouse to release the arrow, which gives you time to adjust your aim. Yeah, okay. So Brian Markton and aim. Everyone gets the review. But also, I'm probably going to swear it now because I know that it will have conflicts with it.
Yeah.
Things blow up, we will roll it back.
So what's your
Problem I don't like home right now,
which is
I'm just going to. But if you run out before you can finish it down, I'm just gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Just
You get a free ball.
You don't get a free ball on top of that.
Oh, you're going the other way.
Yeah,
It's like, wait.
Still
Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Right.
Do an exactor.
I would.
Of course, how else would it?
Squish them.
okay.
Like there's places where I wrote something and I
Can't hold it.
like that's No handle, dude. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, sort of.
Which will probably
They
stack.
have like 7 files.
Yeah.
You got like 7 files with white
They'll
space.
figure it out.
Change your mind.
Yeah.
You want to add-
Alright.
Go. Bug report, bug report, bug report. Okay.
And then you can basically.
No handle.
You know, if you were facing all parts, learn to drive a program.
Yes, hi. Yes, okay. Yes.
Hello, am I better?
I do not see your camera. Yep.
Oh, there you are.
Cool dog.
I thought you said you could do that.
I can see you, Tyler.
Yeah, it's using them all. There it goes.
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, stand ups.
Okay, we're gonna do stand-ups now, so the sound is gonna disappear on the stream. This is not an error, it is something that we're intending, so there you go.
No, you know me, you know that. Yeah, I would not have never, oh yeah. You know, like more complicated, less complicated. That would be.
We've been saying that, and he still keeps charging for it on Twitch.
Well, I mean, me asking about, I've asked about it every once in a while on Twitch.
Sure. The question about what's used around.
Yes. It's not in
Around.
We'll be in.
Will be interesting.
Over the fact that they need to keep people away.
Will I be able to buff any stat on a character now? Like any stat that's in an ability, I can buff on a
So
character.
there's two parts of that. Resistance.
Expire items in general.
Yeah.
Remember how we keep making the
Oh, that's
distinction
a-
between player
that's a-
stats and ability stats?
And resistance is something
Resistances
else.
are a third thing.
Yeah.
So what I did is I
But when,
took
like,
the
so many
way
places, like,
and the interface that we use to modify
100 kilograms or
player
1,000 kilograms
stats
of
Yes.
and made them
building,
generic
right?
such that we could
Somebody
basically
else
stuff
can
any
come in,
enumeration,
grab it.
one of which is now ability stats and the other of which is
So I just wanted
damage
to verify
types
that.
for
Yeah.
resistance purposes.
So,
And hook the resistance up to all of our damage lookups. So resistances are fully functional when they go in. You will also have the ability to create effects, which will apply active effects, which modify ability stats, but they're not hooked up to anything.
Okay.
So you can produce the
make them and then
effects,
they'll
and they'll
work
put
later.
buffs on guys, but those buffs don't do anything yet.
And they will.
Yes.
it should be pretty easy to say. Yeah. Anyway.
And so that's one of the things Brian had a good idea in terms of like how we, since they modify the same things that abilities do, we can sort of just when we start casting the ability, just grab them and merge them in. So that's where I'm going to start looking at that, and if it doesn't work quite as well or quite as simply as that, then we may have to jump into the like shitty land of specificity. Just again to get us into beta 1. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But what that means is you'll have to be like, okay, Tim, I'm going to start using the damage mod, and then I'll have to go in and make the damage mod work. And okay, I'm starting to use slash pen or any of the penetrations, and I'll go in and make all the penetrations work, and so on and so forth. So hopefully it works the way we want it to work. If not, I'll have to sort of piecemeal it, and then we'll make it generic. We don't have to.
Yeah, it's good. The one side effect here is that we won't have time to be like, you know, I want to increase damage and we increase all the different damage types. You'll have to specify what different damage types are.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's the way it works.
And then in terms of resistances, they work like stat mods where you can say it doesn't add, or it doesn't multiply, or it doesn't set. And there's a little bit like, first of all, the set thing, like we talked about, right now it's just going to execute order of operation. So if you got a buff that doubled your strength, and then you got a buff to set your strength to 50, and then you got a buff that halved your strength, you end up with 25 strength seeds. Resist, but
Resist. But the stat mods do have a layering effect a little bit that we don't have that hooked up to anything right now. So,
Right.
I mean, in the future we can do it, so we can have different layers, but
now, so if that ends up being a problem and you decide there's a very specific order of operations where we just always want to do sets last or whatever, that's probably fairly trivial to make happen. So just basically, if you have an add of 20, it'll just add 20%, flat 20% to the resists. If you have a mole of 0.2, that's equivalent to 1.2. But it adds them all up. So if you have like 3 moles of 0.2, it adds them up to 0.6 and then multiplies by 0.6.
Okay.
And if you do negative 0.2, then it adds all
It's the
those
same
up.
ability
And,
stats.
yeah. And so if you do 3 negative 0.2s, it becomes negative 0.6. 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4, and so your resistance get multiplied by 0.4. And I did a bunch of testing on those, and I feel pretty confident about resists, but the ability mods themselves are going to be a little bit more exciting.
Okay. When does this exciting take place?
Like I said, the code should be going in as soon as I take care of some of Brian's feedback, so hopefully by lunch. But ability mods won't do anything resists.
Well, just so that I get them in the editor, so I can set up the abilities for them, and I will test
Which
them
is why
later.
I'm just going to check them in with this one,
Yes.
and the data bucket will be there. And but you know, and then as you use them, maybe just keep a mental note or a spreadsheet or whatever of the ones that you have used, so that I can make sure those specific use cases work as expected.
Most of the use cases that I've planned for were specifically centered around does more damage. So does more slashing, piercing, crushing, and generic damage. And that would probably be the extent that I will start with.
So then I can just do like more back tab testing. I made it so that back tab. Yeah.
Back dab!
Thank you.
Resist testing was like, hey, I've got 100% resist. That is a thing right now. It's like 100% resistance. You're immune.
Okay.
Because we don't have layering in there, and obviously that's another thing we're going to need to get. But for now, and so like if you're wearing heavy armor, which has like 70% resistance to start with,
Yep.
it's pretty easy for them to hit melee damage immunity.
Yeah. Oh, and we talked about having, Ben's talked about having bypassing resistance.
So that is a thing, and similarly, not similarly, inversely, negative resists act as damage multipliers.
This seems good as well.
Yeah.
And like a little
Backtab's gonna have backtabs on.
I could start making a list. Yesterday I was trying out projectiles. One of the things about projectiles was they don't seem to use projectiles. They don't seem to take their stat into account, and they just take their multiplier into account. I don't know why that was.
Which style?
Projectile speed.
Projectile speed.
So I don't have so many works. I'm working on something else.
Can you give me an ability so I can take a look at it? Like, just give me two components I can put together that you read as yesterday.
Use the light cancellation sliders for
Here.
a little bit. I was gonna.
That's 1,000.
Well, or very, very fast. Maybe that never works.
Sorry, what type of?
Because we have specific.
So if that's something
Oh yeah, with that. Well, we get the website. They have
We can do it on the Chimera, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's reasonably good for testing. We'd like to have actual projectile
yeah,
VFX.
You'd like to have a lot of other VFX animations and stuff like that, so yeah. I don't know if we have this way on, you know, we built the system.
I don't have
Okay, cool. Anything
that is the most immediate thing. I need to do more testing, but I want to get JB's new stats in, and then I want to get Mark's weapon crafting in so that we have the correct amount of abilities use crazy amounts of stamina and blood.
Right.
players have crazy amounts of stamina and blood, and weapons deal crazy amounts of damage. And so when all of those things match, it will be possible to do testing. At present, you try to cast a spell, it kills you.
Yeah. People are talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You just need to go on chat and say working as a test.
well, so all those things, testing is not a good thing right now. So I'm just putting some more trees in for some odd abilities like what is right now melee attacks for healers and stuff that were on lower priority. So once those are done, and I only have a few more of them left, I'll hopefully this other stuff will be checked in and I'll be able to start doing some testing.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll go to look at the small test.
Yeah, that's ironically one of the ones that was testable because throwing a bottle of something doesn't cost blood, but you'll run out of stamina by doing it.
Right. Yeah, I noticed it. I was testing it yesterday. It was taking a lot of stamina. I think it was draining all my entire stamina.
It does.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Cool. Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay.
Take a look at that.
Don't do it that way. I like you, but I will protect you so hard. You're a kickback. Great being wrong with that one.
This is Rob. They're not under sheet. What we use essentially as stats, like for example, max acceleration.
That's something we're gonna have to control shit. I've done that a bunch. What, you got all those? Not all of them, but a bunch.
Well, there's max movement speed. That's like the leader on the server itself. This is this is like acceleration. Like the way we figured out acceleration is like figure take your max movement speed is multiplied by some factor. Basically, like your acceleration is move speed divided by 10 or whatever.
I have the interface, you know, which rolled up
But we
created
can
it.
have it different factors for different reasons. So if we add it to
Well, yeah, I started down that path.
That's generally a sort of deal thing. Yeah, because on trade contract,
Yeah, absolutely. It was
temporary can be part of that kind of idea. I think those are there to keep like us from playing points for that play. You know, so that's some of the values where our energy is X number of frames. If we go below that, we're breaking right.
Hey, at least it's only in one place. Here, I expect it to be pretty easy.
So what you're saying is, and then everybody will have crazy factors, right?
we'll have like the stats that are set.
Compared to what they
I'm
currently
gonna
have.
have to white ball characters.
Oh, we're doing that. Okay.
Yeah, they're not just white parents.
How good we're streaming.
I'm taking it off. Yeah,
Thankfully, I've counted.
give people I'll give them new items with new values.
Cool.
And then shortly later today, they'll be able to actually, crafters will be able to make those items.
That's amazing.
Just
too.
separate.
So they start with it, and then they can make different, but multiple happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll do both.
Okay. Maybe he's one of the characters whenever he does his stat thing. So then, theoretically, if characters start with new items, then we will create new characters. They'll start with new items. They will have new stats, and they will be approximately at the numbers they're supposed to be at for everything. So,
Yeah, winning.
I had to finalize making sure it all works. I'll trade you but I gotta make sure character creation works. And if character creation is not working right now, which is probably not, I'm going to get our new character creation ready to do it at the same time.
Okay.
Friday. Yeah, no worries on that. No, well, I'm gonna play one tonight. But I won't have to worry about it.
We may have some back and forth. Like, I added all the values on. Pretty sure I'm supposed to. But you never. Aww. Oh shit.
that's my favorite thing about your phone screen.
Broke the screen.
It's too bright to see. It's too bright. Oh no.
You're just getting an item out here.
I know programs.
I could probably put a constraint.
I don't know.
So I figured out the solution to the world updater that you wrote. And that's, it doesn't make me want to hurt you. No.
Probably.
It's going to make you want to hurt passage. I should be doing this in a completion where we have the world anyway. It's uploading still. Woohoo! I'm specifically talking about life. I don't care about it.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's not that works. Remember, kid, Andrew says if it's a pile on YouTube, Space game, here we come.
I'll let you go first because the first person to do that task one on CSE Space Game.
Oh no.
Pound of fun. He said all of them. But this needs to be pound of fun.
And it is called Wiki. Hey, that's our thing. Yeah.
Good for you. This is work. Scared everybody. Like, I'm gonna break all of it.
You did it?
Sorry, I never.
Which is weird because the people there look pretty cool. So it's just a bizarre difference.
Well, it's just fun up.
Yeah.
Like, so you have
Well,
a
and
grow,
they
you
have-
spend money on
Wait,
it, right? Yes.
Like, no, we're going to talk to you about
You have that much control now? This is a I think we can do it for 4.5.
Load testers, and we get broke.
What's your board, man?
I was gonna say lots of compile. Yeah, lots of compile, but not work.
It's not live anymore.
Yeah, man, it's like just the really texture. It seems like a really good exact same texture.
Yeah.
And
It works.
it's that one on the other one. It works. Apparently that one texture took me all over the place.
It got screwed up and there's no way to change it now because anytime we put the exact same texture, it won't update.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, I just made a new material, exact same textures. It was given that.
This sounds like a question.
Yeah, so I'm just looking for that.
Cambridge to Boston, lives in a world she's lost in, victim of compromise. He's staring at her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's whistling the catacombs, a paradox. He's in love with the statue in a
If it
marble
was looked up by
block.
MD5, it would
He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her wrist. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot.
Welcome to the team.
An angel in disguise. But he can see her Aberdeen heart, London eyes, Glasgow bones. She's a whistle in the catacombs, a paradox. Oh, he's in love with the statue in a marble block. He's in love with the girl that time forgot. She just shakes her wrist. She's falling too far with salt in her scars. Won't let it taste her tears. She's falling too far. The girl that time forgot. You let her go, catacombs. You let her go,
Maybe it was Vader.
let her go.
Yeah, maybe you're talking about because you expect absolutely everything. If you were pulling in IOR values.
She just shakes her wrist. She's falling too far with salt in her
So for right now, if you look at the 50, we have a metal map, which is black and white. So what we need to do is anything that's in metal needs to be white, and everything that's not metal needs to be black. Yes, yes. And then the actual color of the metal is going to be communicated with this channel. Color of the metal. So if we have a definition of what time specifically from gold, like those are actual values that exist. Like if you look at the HDR, like metal colored cables. So those numbers you can hold directly. But if you like shifted it, it's something metal or something like that. But probably just use it. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear him? Okay. So like if you look in your copper components of tonnage, and also consider more. Just don't have that. So basically what we need to do is, you need to make a metal map. So I don't know if you can pull that, and kind of out of something that is metal, but it's not color switching. Black and white. And then that, it's kind of values the portable here, it's at 0.5. Metal. So I sampled this color. What I want you to do is just, if it fits, I don't want you to get too detail oriented. If it's, you can pick a gray value and drop it in. This is spec channel. And this is the white, the metal, which is set up there. Oh, hold on. What are we going to expect now? Not the roughness. And then there's the roughness, fairly glossy. The roughness can be higher or lower, but like for your roughness, if you're up in a really high white range, that's more like say velvet. Yeah. That begin to make sense. Yeah, the spec master is basically, think of it as like those things in there, like two values. Roughness is how wide and spread out light on the material, and the spec master is how void that light is. So if you've got like something that's very rough, you have a really wide highlight across it. And if it's had a really bright spec mask, it'll all of that really high. Yes. So they're switched. So the high end of rough on that white is going to be really rough. So it'll spread it out. Think of it like with more shine. Like it might help out. And then with this back, you just get a brighter light like that. So like for the blades of grass, I brought roughness down below 25, and I brought the spec up. Actually, I really brought the spec down in these cases. Right? I got a really dark spec. I find that you don't get too bright with the spec, but if you can look at the process here, and because your metal is how it's spec. Okay, you gotta watch when she starts talking, so then I can hear her. say, go. Let's say pure metals have a spec mass of 1. So therefore, so if metal, spec mass of 1. It's pure metal, but you can still make it like see it happen. It's just got some gray, and then that has the same effect of. Remember, we have to straighten. You're doing it all right. No, that's right. Yeah, you basically. So, while it's natural, for transportation. So it's not a leather, plants, leaves, stems. Then what you do is you treat each individual like material at its own risk amount. Yes. So like let's say you've got cloth or your natural materials. By natural material you mean like dirt or if it's living, then you have 1 or 2 left. If it's dead, as a good starting point, if it's dead, maybe 1. So or if it was living. So these number values that he's saying. That's much after. 1.3 is so if you look at leaves, It's not a substance. You can also have substance.
I'll have the language for you, Tim, in a few minutes. Having Max for once over.
trying to first time. So, or whatever day. So the way it works right now is you've got a list of all of your things. Right. That's what I
Want to fix? Yeah, we can either put stats in there with one more.
Or display bug.
Yeah, we can fix stats and display bug and we will move on. But yeah,
So,
I should have a
I
picture
thought
of
that
it's right here.
all the way.
Yeah, it was a subtle bug. Yeah, we have like layered expressions.
Yeah.
We used to all mush them into one layer, but we changed it to two layers where we don't like one layer for some stuff. So now I check all the layers. It helped with weapons, so we can basically merge the weapons properly.
Okay.
With the
So
just one component instead of like merging all the components. So yeah, this bug kind of got introduced
You
with
want to mask out the metal part.
weapons. It wasn't a big deal because we were mostly putting most of the additions in the first component, in the primary component.
Yeah.
And so since we were putting additions in the secondary component, it kind of
Mask out.
but like that, I got to fix on push that.
And then,
Yeah.
well,
And then
it's
I
not
still
going to
need
be
to
black.
look at the
Dark. However, in this
Yeah,
case,
I'm gonna let you know.
wood.
I would.
I
Well,
want to.
if the projectile's still bound, I won't try it yet. But
And,
that's at least one thing that I can revert. Well, it'll revert on this input anyway.
because it's going to have a little bit more.
Yeah, like I said, just we'll have a display bug.
Well, like the UI doesn't even display anything having to do with weapon stats, right? So like the UI is already all messed up.
Yeah, we need to. Like I said, it's an old style UI, so people want to almost really want to rip it out and replace it with something more modern. And we need to do the ability network. We need to change that so we can edit that better and then add in the range UI network.
Yeah, is that basically not happening for
Some of these
the
things really keep the auditors. You know what the really on here.
And just doing that. And I brought it up to him. He said he was aware of it. Or really stuff to him. Yeah, I haven't heard. I've been saying about that. Trying to get stuff done.
Wood
Double checking that.
highlight on it.
Cool. Anything else?
What do I?
Yeah,
Excited. Yeah, waiting.
like once Tim gets his things in, there's all the more stuff. And once JB and Mark both like their things all, then characters will have a much higher amount of stats and a much higher amount of weapon stats. Like stats will actually be derived from weapons that have actual stats. And players will be able to craft weapons that have actual stats. So at that point, I'll be able to actually do some more robust testing that will actually get into numbers and things and stuff. I've been trying to log in multiple characters at the same time.
Has that been working? Or-
Okay.
So I do.
So you have color in there already. Yeah, so you just need to put do a black and white mask to define what's metal, what's not metal. What's the
Yeah,
metal?
we're gonna start up for the client.
The scales.
Or it should be small.
Oh, so it's the red down there. Okay, so you'll need to.
Wow.
I have no idea what he's doing.
Okay, so you'll need to put some color in there for the metal. You know, if you're gonna go with gold, grab the gold color
Okay, trying to log in. And
online, up with it a little bit. Like that. So we're gonna right here, right? Scale.
So when I try to do this, like this is my syntax, right? It's like
I'm not super familiar with this, but
okay.
Whatever the
So I try to
yeah,
do.
that'll look good.
I try to do multiple characters.
Right.
But what ends
Yeah,
up
I
happening is it gives me the wrong character.
Oh yeah.
It's like that color, but
It gives you 3 characters, but it gives you the wrong characters.
Yeah.
Is it 3 the same characters or is it 3
It's 2 of the same characters and one other character that I don't know why.
okay. So yeah, I mean, what I would do is mask this out twice, right? Put it in. It doesn't look, it's not right, or the color value is the right color.
I'm not hardly anything about it's really not the same package.
You'll be
I
doing a
copy
bit
and
of
paste it to my
substance around
Visual
it.
Studio and it just works. Yeah.
Saturated.
Yeah.
Shift the color.
Dave, I know about the character. I don't know why it's not working.
For right now, I want you to steer really rough path. Right?
Let me go see if the hash rates are working.
Yeah.
We're not reducing down here's activated. Gift here.
Right. We don't reduce it until you enter it here and right now.
Well, you never enter.
So, right. Okay. So, like, you know, the owner of
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, the owner would
Now we could just stop it by.
and it just send it to somebody else.
So, if I were
Breathe me into the light. Slowly heal the darkness in my heart. I hear you now. A taste was all I needed. I feel your love loud and clear to the end. It's you and me. I'll follow you to the end. I'll follow you to the end. It's you and me. I'll follow you to the to the end. Breathe me into the light. Slowly heal the darkness in my heart. I hear you now. The taste was all I needed. I feel your love loud and clear. It's you and me. I'll follow you to the end. I'll follow you to the end. It's you and me. I'll follow you to the end. I'll follow you to the end. To the end.
That's exactly what that value is. But right now,
So many whispers flying round, unbroken wings deafening. But I had my head from the sound, so tired of listening. I let my mind just drift away, with perfect thoughts left ignored. But now I'm begging you to stay. I secretly pray all of the moons. I silently wait for you. I secretly pray all of the moons. Silently wait. So many whispers flying round, broken wings deafening. But I had my head full of sound, so tired of listening. I let my mind just drift away. I let my mind just drift away. I secretly pray all of the moons. Silently wait for you.
Star Wars?
Is that what you want? I'm sure that you're working.
I think it's here.
Oh, okay.
6. And it's also very colorful.
Yeah, I wonder just to get it in.
I like to get some of his best shirts.
If you can do what you do all the time, that's fantastic. Okay, well, cool. I'd like the audience to point next to take that channel that we maxed out and say, really bring everything to line. Because once we do that, then we'll actually have the values put them on the artist with actual examples. But if the CG guy standing there in our life, post HDR, like, this is what it looks like. Here's the values that we used for all these materials. And just make examples of that so that everybody can say, I want that. That material looks great, but I want that. And put out what, and then that's up to the artist to dark and bright, add noise. Adding noise is that next extra step. So that's what I'm trying to get done. Like I said, broad brushwork. objects. Excited.
So
I'll try to show.
you can
Do whatever I want.
easily place them all unwrapped, ready to go. Each one's only like anywhere from 30 mods to 50 mods. So
These. Is that right now? Is that what I'm looking at?
yeah, they're both.
Okay. Are you gonna stick them on a card?
However you want it.
How are they used right now?
Right now they're UV as these actual.
No, I mean like are they all technically on their own sheet?
I have them broke down. There's about six per sheet.
Okay.
But I can.
As long as I have things I can copy and paste everywhere, like oh I'm gonna redo this sheet, half the sheet or whatever. Yeah. I mean if I did okay. Do yeah, I think I'm good because I think what I can do is, this sticky top. Like I have a very rough version of that. As it is being tested, it's pulled out. Oh, it's not an issue of what it is. It's an issue of no matter what the pictures are on there. So I'm relying on using a lot of little pieces to like just kind of put that's part of what like putting things together is like okay, I just don't know what to break up that pattern. And then it's just a lot of like putting all the pieces together so that I have like you just kind of start putting it into big broad pieces. Like this is just a big extra on this and okay, make a couple of those signs. Oh, those things? Okay. Right.
So you don't need to
Don't sculpt them.
So okay, just
Do like a flat, just like a canvas.
okay.
And then what I'll do is I'll put different things on different things, like sharpness and stuff. And then I'll be able to do this with two shapes. So okay. So I sent you FBX. Use that FBX. Okay. It's a big square die of my FBX. That's the Oh no, it's more like once I've got this. Some of that. I mean, I'm not going to finish today. start there. Go ahead and do 4 pieces. Got it. Yeah, throw those to me, and I'll start fucking.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed 2 at Jenesee with the office cams on live. And the schedule after lunch, which we're going to have for an hour. And after that hour, we will have a contest at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock UTC, and 11 o'clock Pacific Time, followed by a Periscope, which will be a fun thing that I do where I walk around the office with my phone and you get to kind of talk and see what people are working and up to. That will be at 4:30, I think.
Lunch.
Yes. Actually, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock UTC, and 1 o'clock Pacific Time. And then that's followed by Bring Out Your Devs, where hopefully we'll have George Davison and Mark Hernandez on to talk about what they're up to, and you can ask them questions as well. We'll finish the day with Enter the Depths board game, where Ben has gone rogue and is going to turn on the party as he has been corrupted. So stay tuned for that stuff later today, and thanks for joining us. See ya in an hour.